James Bell, the Boxing Source, here with another video. And this video here is to go through the IG Live that took place with Eddie Hearn and different fighters that are under the Matchroom Boxing stable. But this one in particular wanted to go into Eddie Hearn's conversation with Daniel Jacobs. So I'm going to see if I could play a little clip here, see if it goes through a little bit, and get the comments from Eddie Hearn and Daniel Jacobs. So let's try it.
You've got a guy in Gabe Rosado, good fighter, good profile, but for you to...
What's that?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
is that his game right now? I mean, I know there was some stuff off camera we saw of you guys on an escalator in Vegas. Then he was in the Phoenix fight, went a little bit, but do you think he's just like a little chihuahua at your heels right now?
I just think it's a little envy and it's a little jealousy. You know, I remember him saying something as far as when I was commentating, trying to say I'm trying to be a fake Andre Ward, but I'm a versatile man. I can do many things, you know, and I think that because he's a gatekeeper, I think, you know, it doesn't sit well with him because we all came up together, you know, and for me to surpass him the way that I am and the way that his career has gone, he has to go other routes to get a fight. And what fans don't understand, you know, we all want to do it for the fans as far as picking the best fights, but sometimes there's the personal fights that you want to be able to get out. And it's going to make a good fight as well. So for me, I'm just looking at this fight, you know, like lamb chops right now because he's food.
Oh, man. Daniel Jacobs said that he is looking at a potential fight between him and Gabe Rosado as lamb chops because he is food. Lamb chops, barbecue chicken, whatever you want to call it. That's going to be some type of a fight. Now, I may have brought this up earlier in reference to Daniel Jacobs, that he and Gabe Rosado have had a couple of confrontations before. There was the whole thing in reference to Daniel Jacobs' fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., where it was potentially talked about that Chavez would be kind of like not be part of that fight, and that Daniel Jacobs would potentially face Gabe Rosado. And that whole thing went back and forth before the actual fight between Daniel Jacobs and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. went through. And we all know about the whole result of that particular fight, but also Gabe Rosado was part of that card. However, his fight didn't happen until after the Daniel Jacobs Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. event. And with all of the stuff that went down as far as like the crowd, they cleared the crowd. So there was basically nobody there except for a few columnists and maybe a few people that were covering the event for Gabe Rosado in his fight that was at that arena. But now we have these comments here from Daniel Jacobs in reference to a potential fight between him and Gabe Rosado there at the super middleweight division. Now, Daniel Jacobs and Gabe Rosado, like he said, that came up together. They have had a couple of common opponents in Gennady Golovkin and also in Maciej Sulecki. Daniel Jacobs had defeated Maciej Sulecki over in the Barclays Center, and you had Maciej Sulecki get the decision win over Gabe Rosado over at the Acura Center in Philadelphia. And also, they've had the common opponent in Gennady Golovkin, where Gennady Golovkin was able to stop Gabe Rosado and then get the decision win over Daniel Jacobs. But in reference to this particular bout, Daniel Jacobs is, ready for a fight between him and Gabe Rosado. And if, there isn't any of the highly ranked super middleweights available for Daniel Jacobs to fight, then he's like, hey, if Gabe Rosado wants that smoke, he's like, yeah, I'm ready for it. Let's go ahead. Let's get it. Lamb chops. He said he's licking his fingers, man. Lamb chops. So that's gonna be something to look at once things clear up here for the sporting world and for the sport of boxing. So Daniel Jacobs, Gabe Rosado, a potential matchup there at super middleweight. So be on the lookout for that. That's all I got for this particular topic. You can subscribe to the Boxing Source on YouTube. You can also catch the podcast Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Blog Talk Radio, or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.